No, I'm joking. He was a great host. He was the perfect guy for that show.
Can I ask you, obviously there's lots of rumors swirling about Jimmy Gordon.
Yeah, Jimmy Gordon, yes.
That he was obnoxious, rude, etc., etc.
Yeah.
What's your experience working with him?
Well, started working for them around 96, and we got our first crane operator, and our license was approved on the dock. We got our land plot from the FDA. No, I think, I mean, fuck. It's like, it's funny, I get that question a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot, but a lot. A lot that I love answering it. But basically, it's that's so crazy that just so you guys at home know. I know this isn't live, but when this finally does get edited and it comes out,
it's live.
When it's not, I know you guys are just joking, but when this is live, when this does get aired, after this is edited right now, it doesn't matter what I'm saying right now in this moment.
Right, we'll cut. We will cut that.
We will cut
after the live ends.
After the live ends.
We can edit the VOD after the live ends. We can.
Okay, so great. So it's not technically live if it's going to be edited later.
Right. No, it's live.
Even though it's streamed live. Well, I'm getting to it. I just wanted to let people know that they're watching a false background show.
Look at a really bright light.
Look at that mask. Look at that hair.
This is so embarrassing.
Why did you bring up that? This is the live.
Because I know these. Oh, that's what the live looks like? They're trying to sell people on the idea that they're going to traditional radio show. Fake numbers is cool. I mean, it looks convincing. I love it. It's like, we'll create a scroll, we'll just like take it from another show, and we'll just make it look like it's live. I get it.
Yep.
But so aside from just me letting people know this is what's called a false background show.
Okay, all right. Not false. It's a real photo.
Okay, it's represented in a highly creative way. How about that?
I like that.
Okay.
I'll accept that.
Okay. All right. Okay, so on to Jim Corden, the commissioner.
Anime's not real, by the way.
Well,
didn't actually happen. Hate to break it to you.
Well, it's only one email.
Are you sure you want to suck on a mint?
That's right. We're not talking about Jim Corden. It's mint time, baby.
All right, let's go. By the way, I watched your special, by the way.
Yeah, you did.
And very fun.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's on Veep. I never heard of Veep.
Yeah.
But I did it for you.
Oh, thank you.
I went on the Veeps, and I watched that fucking special for you.
Beep, beep. Oh, you got the hairbrush.
Because I have tremendously puffy hair.
Yeah, you got like super thick hair.
And so I'm admiring
that's skater hair, essentially.
Is that right?
Like almost all the skaters I know, like at least like a third of them have that kind of hair. And I don't know if it's a genetic thing, but yeah.
I'm not a skater boy, but I am a hater boy.
There you go.
So I wanted to match your energy on the hair department.
It's so cool. Yeah, I'm this. That's all I am, guys. So Jim Corden. According to Corden. That should be like has there not been an article that Corden would be so
his side of the story.
His side, my experience. So here it is. He was awesome. Like the first time I met him in a hotel where he's convincing me to be on the show as this music guy, and he was like, "I just want you. I don't want anybody else. You're the guy." So it was
that's
very
nice.
Very nice
endorsement. Yeah.
Very nice. Very flattering. Like very cool. And everybody knows what that knows. That I offered him an edible. I had like the Kiva chocolate.
Okay.
And I offered him an edible, and he immediately ate it. And I was like, very diplomatic.
That
very
is
diplomatic.
That's pretty bold.
That's like when you're visiting. It's like when the first colonialists who were the coolest people showed up, and how Native Americans were like welcoming them into their homes or whatever, and they would just like do whatever drugs they gave them because like we got to get on their good side. That was like the vibe. Not that I'm not equating James to a colonialist.
But he was British. Let's back that up.
Yeah, he is British. No, you're right.
So he's a colonizer.
So yeah, he comes from a colonizing nation. But then
you might say he colonized the late night show. I mean, he's an English guy. He's coming. He's taking jobs away from our great American host.
So he came for our jobs. I mean, Ferguson arguably.
Well, he was the pioneer.
He was the pioneer, but he's also Scottish. Right.
Yeah, and he's not American.
He's not American.
So
he's not American. He's not English.
We're working on that. We're replacing him
the great
with a Proud Boy.
Yeah, the great replacement theory.
The Proud Boys are working on their first night show.
Yeah, their podcast is amazing.
So he took the edible.
He took the edible, and then and then we just had a good chat. But basically, he said you'll only have to be there for the taping. Basically, like you'll just have to be there a little bit before and a little after.
That's great pitch.
And I was like, that sounds great. He's like, you can put together any band you want. And I was like, that's great. And I was like, all right. And that was our first meeting. And then I thought about it for a month before taking the job. And I was calling all my comedian friends and like getting advice and blah, blah, blah. Because I was ready to go out solo at that point. But I will say that he was totally right, even though it didn't start that way. Like in the beginning, we'd have to go, to rehearsals, and so I would see the show. Well, he didn't lie to me. He just that's just the way the show was going. But because in the beginning, you kind of have to figure out what is the show. It was just like, it's the showrunner, whatever. It was the show. But I will say that only lasted for like, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 months.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
And then I was just like, I don't think I need to come to rehearsals.
Good.
And because like we were improvising all of our ins and outs anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't want to see the monologue again. I wanted to respond to the monologue in real time. So I started doing that. No one said anything. And then eventually the showrunner, Ben Winston, who was a really cool guy, he would chime in and be like, you were right to stop coming to rehearsals.
Okay.
He's like, the energy is different. I was like, I know. That's
nice.
why I'm not doing it out of being lazy. It's just I want to walk into a show.
You know what's cool
and go
about being an improviser?
Yeah.
Is that you get to work less. You do less.
That is, you're the
It's
first
kind of
person
epic,
to
right?
realize that.
Because I feel like I'm somewhat of an improviser in what we do, and it's a lot less work. So I think, like, fundamentally, I'm a very lazy person.
Yes.
And so I love improvisation.
That's funny that you say that. I say that all the fucking time.
That's what's up.
I'm like I want to save some labor, but also it also just works that way because if you're saving all your performance energy for when you're actually performing, then you're really performing. It's more genuine. Yeah. So I will say that being with James, like his whole crew was cool. They were cool. He was always cool with me. I could definitely see like some of these rumors about like the restaurant stuff or whatever. I could definitely see that as a possibility because he is an actor at the end of the day, and no offense to all my actor friends, a little bit because actors. I mean, I get it. It's like I have tons of actor friends, and they know this is true, but they do get inside their heads, and they can be insecure at times because their job depends on like what's available out there, and if you're not making stuff, you're worried about the conditions of like being able to even get a job in the first place. So you kind of build in this like, it's a little insecure. So I get it that you'd get so inside your head that if you were frustrated with something that you would kind of externalize it. That makes sense to me. He never did it to me. He never said anything crazy to me.
You were the talent. Did you ever see him yell at an intern, slap an intern?
No, I never saw him slap. I did see him stab several people, but they didn't.
That is breaking.
But it was with a fake knife. So and it had like there's a blood squirter pump that when you stab someone the blade goes in and then there's little like a little bag in there,
let me ask
like a
you
bladder,
this.
and then it goes like that. So he would do that, but it was just.
Did they show up the next day at work? Always or something?
No, they never did.
So
but I think that's part of like the ruse. Like I think. But the point is, he never treated us bad. Everybody in the band was like, this guy's a stand-up dude. He's a cool dude. Always cool to us. Sometimes he would get frustrated. You hear him like, guys, this has to get better. Like things like that. But it was
fine if you're running a tight
fine. Yeah.
You care about your job.
You do that. You want it to be a good show. But that's about it. The other stuff that I heard about, I haven't seen him do it, but I'm also like, I wouldn't be surprised if he did something along those lines because I just know how actors can get.
Well, the accusation was just that like he's a dick, right?
He was not a dick. He was definitely not. I mean,
Because, like, at the end of the day, that's not the worst thing to be, especially in Hollywood. There's
Standard.
rapists in Hollywood.
There are rapists. They're still working.
They're working right now.
Yeah, they're working right now.
If they were just assholes, how nice would the world be? But I could be speaking at turn.
I sometimes be a little hurt, but I was like, well, he's just in his head. He's like looking at something.
He ignored you.
Yeah, he just didn't hear it. He was like looking at a thing on it,
Maybe he didn't
whatever.
care.
He probably just thinks nothing of me at all.
That's,
is what I'm hoping.
That's impossible.
That's the news.
That is filling up for gas just before a hurricane. Just had to top off, thankfully. smell of jet fuel. Best smell in the world. You should make a candle with that scent. Ooh, I like that idea.